Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for this Lenovo K6 Power, which is a budget-oriented Android device from Lenovo, and I've already done its unboxing, so I won't be going over the physical overview and other aspects of this device because I've covered all those aspects in my unboxing video. So I'll be directly jumping between the pros and cons, what I liked with this device and what are the things that I did not like. And I'm producing this review after testing this device for 1 week. And before we proceed, here are the specs for the Lenovo K6 Power. As you can see, it's powered by the Snapdragon 430 chipset. It comes with 3 gigabytes of RAM, and this is selling in India via Flipkart for rupees 9,999. That's almost rupees 10,000. So let's jump between the pros and the cons. Let's start with the things that I like, that is the pros. And the first thing is regarding the battery life. It hosts a 4000 milliamp hour battery, and in terms of battery life, I was getting very good battery life. I tested this device with the dual SIMs, that is Airtel 4G and Reliance Jio here in Hyderabad, and I got very good results in terms of battery life. It was lasting on an average for about 1.5 days, and in terms of screen on time, I was getting anywhere between 7.5 hours to 8.5 hours of screen on time, and this is over 1.5 days of usage. So needless to say, the battery life is actually really good on this device. But regarding the charging time, I'll talk about that later. Stay tuned. And next, if we talk about the cellular call quality, as I've told you, I've used it with Airtel 4G and Reliance Jio, and in terms of cellular call quality, I had no issues. The earpiece was clear and the other parties said that the calls were clear, so no issues regarding that. Also talking about Reliance Jio support, it does support VoLTE out of the box, so it works perfectly fine with Reliance Jio. In fact, currently I have my Reliance Jio SIM on this one. And some of you have also asked me to test USB OTG. USB OTG works out of the box on this device. You don't have to worry about the same. Now, some of you have also asked me if it has a LED notification light. Yes, it does have a physical LED notification light, but it's just a single color one, that is in white. Now moving to audio, quite a few of you have asked me to test the audio because this one claims to support Dolby Atmos, and it has that dual speakers. Yes, the speakers are fine, but let's talk about the headphone jack. If you listen to a lot of music, and in terms of the audio via the headphone jack, that was also good. And I tested it with my Audio Technica headphones, and it was easily able to drive these ones. So the audio output was also good with the headphone jack. And it also has that Dolby option to toggle. If you enable that, it adds a little bit of depth. So good for even listening to music if you listen to it via headphones. Next, regarding the screen, this one sports a 1080p screen, and the screen quality is actually good, and it also has the auto brightness sensor, and this time the auto brightness sensor works pretty well, unlike many of the other earlier Lenovo phones. But again, one thing that I have noticed is that if you directly use it in outdoor conditions, that's in harsh sunlight, then it's a little bit difficult to see. But apart from that, screen quality was very good. Now moving to fingerprint scanner, it has a rear mounted fingerprint scanner, and in terms of fingerprint scanner performance, that was actually really good. Let's see. As you can see, I just tapped in. Let's do it again, and it unlocks. So the fingerprint scanner actually works very well on this device, and I had no issues in terms of accuracy. It was working very well, as you can see. It also has the option of app locking with the fingerprint sensor. This functionality is built in. And now let's talk about the general performance of this device. The general performance of this device was also very good, and that is largely due to the Snapdragon 430 chipset that they have used. And Lenovo now is using a lighter version of the Vibe UI. Again, it's a custom skin that they are using, but this is a lot lighter. Hence, due to that, the general performance of this device was also good. Even with the heavy multitasking, I didn't have any issues, and the apps loaded fine. So in general performance, I had no issues with this one. In fact, you have a custom launcher on this one, but you can select the Android launcher from the settings. So that option is given. Now let's talk about the gaming performance. Here I was very surprised with the gaming performance because it could play even very heavy games like Asphalt 8 and Nova 3 without any issues, and I did not notice any lag even with those heavy games. And also the good thing is that even with extended gaming, the handset does not heat up that much. So if you are sort of a gamer, the gaming performance was actually very good on this device. Now let's move to the camera. Again, here the results were very surprising because generally with budget oriented Lenovo phones earlier, the camera was one of the most disappointing thing. But here, surprisingly, the things have changed. It has a rear facing 13 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel front facing camera. And this time Lenovo is using a Sony sensor. And as you can see from the sample shots, the camera performance was actually very good and it was sort of surprising. In fact, I also compared it with the Redmi 3S Prime, and this Lenovo K6 Power did better. In fact, I've already posted that video, so you can check out that for more info. I'll have links in the show notes. So definitely in terms of camera performance, the camera performance is actually very good. And considering the price point in this price band of under 10,000 rupees, I feel as of now, this one has one of the best camera. But again, don't expect it to compete with the flagship devices because this one also does not have any optical image stabilization or laser autofocusing system. But still, in general performance, the camera performance was very good. Again, check out the other video that I posted for more samples. Now moving to sensors, here also I was surprised that Lenovo did not skimp on sensors. It has almost every sensor that you need, as you can see, and it also has important sensors like compass, gyroscope, and I tested it with YouTube 360 degrees videos and that works. And this K6 Power also has the VR mode, so you can also use it with that. So VR also works with the same. Also, I tested GPS navigation was nice, and it's nice to see that this device also supports GLONASS satellite, which is generally not found on budget-oriented Android devices. So those were the things that I actually liked. Now let's move to the cons and the things that I did not like with this K6 Power. The first thing is regarding battery charging. Yes, the battery life is good, but the charging time, it takes a lot of time to charge. It takes slightly over 3 hours to charge completely. And yes, I tried it with even fast chargers that did not make any difference. So if you were expecting fast charging, that is simply not there on this device. Now moving to speakers, yes, it has the dual speakers and they are adequately loud, but I would have loved to see those dual speakers on the front. They are on the back. Now another thing is that these touch type capacitive buttons on the bottom, these are simply not backlit. So again, you get used to it within 2-3 days, but again, they are not backlit. Now coming to the weight, as this one is having a 4000 milliamp hour battery, it's slightly on the heavier side for a 5-inch device. I got used to it after 2 odd days, but again, if you pick it up immediately you'll notice that the weight is slightly on the heavier side. Also this is sort of nitpicking. I noticed that the SIM card tray, you can pull it out, but it was very hard to pull out. So you have to be a little bit careful with that one. Also, as this is a dual SIM device, but it's a dual SIM hybrid. So you can use 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and a micro SD card. So that is the limitation. So it's a dual SIM hybrid. Also, we know that Lenovo is not that fast with software updates. So don't expect every month security updates with the same. They generally update once in 4 or 5 months. So again, that's the con with the Lenovo device, and I don't expect that might change with this one. Also, another bug that I noticed, and I feel this can be fixed with the software update. I noticed that in the battery stats, even though when I was not using Wi-Fi, I disabled Wi-Fi and even background scanning of Wi-Fi, and I was exclusively using mobile data, then also in the battery stats, for some reason, the Wi-Fi usage was showing high percentage. So I think this is a bug, but the battery life, as I've told you, in terms of screen on time, about 7.5 to 8.5 hours of screen on time, and it was lasting me for about 1.5 days. So certainly I would say it's a very good budget oriented device. But again, I'm sure some of you will ask me this question: how does it compare to the Redmi 3S Prime? The Redmi 3S Prime sells for 9,000 rupees. So it's 1,000 rupees less than this K6 Power. And there is one thing that extra that you will get on the Redmi 3S Prime. That is the IR blaster. That is simply not present on this one. But there are 3 things that this Lenovo K6 Power does better than the Redmi 3S Prime. So it'll be up to you if you think that is valid for you or not. The first thing is regarding the screen quality. The screen quality is slightly better on this Lenovo K6 Power. It's not like the Redmi 3S Prime screen quality is bad. You won't notice it, but if you compare it side by side, yes, the K6 Power has slightly better screen quality because it's using a 1080p screen. Next thing is regarding camera. In terms of camera performance, definitely the Lenovo K6 Power has a better camera compared to the Redmi 3S Prime. Again, check the video that I posted earlier regarding that. And lastly, in terms of sound, definitely in terms of sound department, the K6 Power has better sound compared to the Redmi 3S Prime. So guys, that's it for now for this review of the Lenovo K6 Power. I've also posted other dedicated videos like its gaming performance and the camera review. Links for those videos will be in the YouTube show notes. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.